Hello and a very good evening and welcome to the Hampton League Netball Online Show. Great to have your company. Unfortunately, we've had the last couple of weeks off due to COVID and the restrictions that have been in place, but it's lovely to be back, and more importantly, it is good to be back this weekend. Hampton Football Netball returning. Senior competitions. We had the juniors last Sunday, which was absolutely terrific, but the Saturday stuff returns after some great news from the Victorian Government. I should say today it was, not this week, today. And Trish Butters, good to have you in the studio tonight, and isn't it nice to have our beloved Hampton Football Netball League competition back up and running?
Absolutely. We've been sweating on this news all week. At the board meeting Monday night, we came up with all the different scenarios and what we might be able to do and may not be able to do, and so the phone was running hot this morning. It was pinging with all the news coming through that we were allowed to play this weekend. So it'll certainly be fantastic to get everyone back out on the footy field and on the netball courts as well.
Now, obviously, there's still going to be some restrictions in place in regards to crowd capping and so forth. I don't know whether the official word's come through or whether it hasn't, whether you guys have been told, but what's sort of the situation currently with crowds, with both, I guess, football, netball, social club? Is there a cap that's been delivered so far for you guys to adhere to, or is that still to be discussed with the Hampton League?
Well, I'm only what I saw on the emails this morning, Trent, and it was saying 150 at each venue. So we got clarification Friday night that a netball was a venue and the football field was a separate venue, which we weren't sure whether that was the case last weekend. And I'm assuming the social rooms is another venue. So 150 people. That's pretty good. That's aside from players and coaches and everyone involved with on court. So, but people need to be in groups of 20. Previously, groups of 10, groups of 20. And if they can't socialise, so like masks and all that sort of thing. But
and scanning of QR codes and all that sort of stuff. Checking would be paramount as well.
I think people got into the habit of doing that a little bit at the start of the year, and we probably just need to be better at it. I know. You get a bit casual, and I think we all got a bit casual, and then we got locked down, and so you can't go anywhere now without scanning. So I think we're all getting quite used to that. But that's a small price to pay to be out there back playing the sport we love.
Yeah, absolutely. And no doubt it's going to be a thing that's going to just take a bit of time to adjust to too for volunteers at the club, because we know how hard our volunteers work. So to get it right and to assure that if the crowd are doing the right thing and the spectators are doing the right thing, it's going to make it a lot easier for the volunteers to police it and to ensure that the clubs are doing the right thing when they're hosting their games each Saturday.
Absolutely. People need to be mindful of everyone's a volunteer. All your club people are volunteers. No one deserves to be abused about things, and you see it around. People get quite antsy about it. Just do as you're asked to do. Move on when you're asked to move on. Do your QR card when you're asked to do it. Otherwise, we won't be here playing again. So, right. Just remember your volunteers and be kind to one another, really.
Yeah, that's right.
Enjoy it.
And I think the word is too, we won't harp on too much about it, but it's just being adaptive, okay? The world we're living in is just forever changing. So I think we just need to be adaptive to the circumstances. And if we can be adaptive, I think we're going to be, in a good position over the next few weeks and in the coming months, towards the end of the finals, towards the start of finals and the end of finals and so forth.
Absolutely. Look, we aim to play all the first round, like everyone's played one another first. And if we can play the next 3 weeks, that'll be fabulous. Going into the bye round, we'll be up. Everyone's played one another once, and then we'll look at it from there. But this could happen again, and that's what we've got to be remembering. This is the sort of world we're living in for the next few years at least.
Yeah.
And we just have to, that word adapt is really important, that we do adapt and that we just go along with it and do what we have to do and tick the boxes and off we go.
Absolutely. Now, just remember too, it is going to be round 9 this week, so 7 and 8, all going well. I know you guys are in your planning from a league perspective. Could likely be the next couple of weeks following, but let's just worry about this weekend and getting this weekend over and done with first. So this is round 9 this weekend. So 7 and 8 haven't been played as yet, but hopefully, all going well, we'll have that in the scenarios that you provide over the next few weeks. That'll be in your planning.
Definitely. And the reason we went for round 9 was the round 9 we were supposed to be at. It's already advertised. Those teams know that they've got home games and where you have to travel to, which was one of the chief reasons of playing this first, and then yeah, the plan is that we would play round 7 and 8 next,
Yep.
and then go into the bye.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
Well, let's look at one of the first games of round number 9. It is Croydon taking on Port Fairy, and joining us on the Zoom this evening is the coach of the Port Fairy Seagulls, and Renee Taylor. And Renee, thanks for joining us on the Hampton Netball Online Show. What an interesting couple of weeks it's been for everyone involved in the Hampton League, especially being one of the coaches of a club.
Yeah, it's certainly been interesting trying to wait and see what's going to be happening for us. But yeah, thanks so much for having me.
I just want to ask you, from a coaching point of view, we've had the restrictions take place, so it's made it hard for training and so forth. So what's been your message to the girls in that time where they haven't been able to come together at training? I think we returned to training late last week. So what was sort of your message, and what are the things that you sort of put in place for the girls to keep fit, keep sharp, and sort of keep netball in the back of their mind?
Yeah, our goalies have still been going out and practicing pretty regularly, and we've sent through some challenges as well with our communication with the players that they've had to do every 3 to 4 days, as well as their own personal fitness as well. So we've still been in touch with them. We haven't known when we're going to be returning, so if we were to do nothing, we wouldn't be prepared then going into this week. So we've still kept active, and yeah, still been communicating as much as possible.
So Renee, we're heading into round 9, which would have been the last game you would have played everyone by then. How do you think you're travelling Port Fairy this year? How are you going against your expectations, I suppose?
It was hard to really have too high of an expectation of how the year was going to go when we were going to have such a different side to what we've seen in previous years. Prior to Ali being injured and snapping her Achilles, she was really the only player that we had from 2019. So we've rebuilt a full open side. So it was hard to kind of know exactly how we're going to go. And also a lot of, movements happen with other clubs as well. So it was difficult to really know until you play them, what the other clubs had as well on their lists.
Yeah, I must say I saw you play just before the break, and I don't know if you call it a break, but anyway, the enforced break, and I was pretty impressed with the defensive end with Bernie Mead and Alicia Maloney. I thought they combining very well together, and I really loved Tessa Allen when she came on. Did she play a full game? I can't quite remember.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
she did a full game. Yeah, our defensive end's been fantastic. Both Bernie and Alicia returned back to the club this year. They've been past players at the club. So they've been really, really strong and provided a lot of turnovers for our attack end. It's just been a little bit difficult, I think, for us to capitalise at this point. But, yeah, Tessa's been so impressive as well. I've been so proud of her work rate. She came back from doing her knee, top age under 15s, I think it was, and had a year off, and then a really I think she only maybe played 6 games or so, top age under 17s, then another year off. And she's come back really strong, and she's just got the most positive, amazing attitude. She's very coachable, and yeah, I've really enjoyed kind of coaching Tess this year. She's been great.
I just want to ask you, obviously a very young side you've got in your lineup, so it must be, for a first year senior coach or open division coach, it must be nice that you can really mould this young group into something special. And it might not be this year that you get the successes, or next year, but maybe 3-4 years down the track. But I guess it's the start of a journey for the Seagulls in some respect.
Yeah, it's a really young comp, I think, though, this year. There's a lot of that have got young lists. You look at South, and they're extremely young as well and doing really well. So it's not kind of the same as perhaps it has been in the last few years, where you've got a lot of veterans around. So we just need to adapt as much as possible and really get these young girls keen to keep playing at Port Fairy and staying. And so that hard work that they do, hopefully, yeah, as you say, will pay off. But we've had Maddie Green, who's been fantastic from the under-17s. Before she hurt her leg a couple of weeks ago, we had her play her first game of open netball, and she was fantastic. She was really, really good to watch, and picked up a lot of turnovers playing on Amy Hammond, who's, I think, one of the better mid-quarters. So we're really proud of how she went as well in her first game, and hopefully we see her back playing this week.
Yeah, I wondered where she was. I saw her name in the team list, and I was looking forward to watching her play. She's a great little cricketer as well, so I think she's a pretty talented sportswoman. But And the other girl I really liked on that day was Olivia Courtley that came from Melbourne that you picked up through Deakin. I really liked her attack and drive in the forward end of the court.
Yeah, Liv's highly skilled, so fit, fast. We're really happy to have her at the club. And she's just got the most beautiful personality as well off the court, so eager to learn as well. So, yeah, people like that, we want to keep. We like to see, these new girls that are just really eager to learn. And, yeah, it's been a real pleasure having Liv there.
So you've got Croydon this Saturday, and we know they've been a bit of a benchmark over many years now. How do you think you'll go up against the all-conquering Croydon team?
I think they've got quite a few young girls as well, so it'll be really interesting to see our mid-court match theirs. Our defenders are probably at the moment really holding us up, so it'd be interesting to see as well how they go. And Nell, she's always to watch, so that interesting. But I was out for dinner with MBAT last weekend, and we were having a bit of a chat about the two teams. And yeah, it's hard to know until you really get them on the day, depending on weather as well. There's a lot of different things that can come into play. So hopefully we have a nice close match with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Renee, before we let you go, and we really do appreciate your time on the Hampton League Netball Show tonight, what's the second half season goals for the Port Fairy Seagulls? What do you want to see from your group over the next, 9-10 weeks before we look into finals?
Look, I think if we just keep building on those different strategies and core plays that we've got, it's, as I said, it is difficult when we put in a full new combination altogether. But if we get these young girls court time and a bit of experience, they're only going to get better. So I think the main objective is just going to be, just building on what we've already done and, just strengthening as a cohesive group.
Oh, fantastic. Well, you're doing a great job over there, Renee, and we certainly appreciate your time tonight on the Hampton League Netball Show. So thank you for joining us, and all the very best for Saturday, and it's nice to have netball back.
It is. Thank you so much for having me. See you.
Thanks, Renee.
Renee Taylor, the senior coach of the Port Fairy Seagulls, doing a great job, and she's been a part of the fabric for a long time, hasn't she? A good netball brain. And I reckon the youngsters over there will really relish the chance to play under Renee and listen to the way she can teach them and guide them on the court. I think they're in for a pretty positive time over there.
Yeah, I think they're on the right track. As she said, the struggle in all teams now, you get some good juniors come through, is hold them together and bring them through as a team. And I think, some of the really strong teams have done that over the years. They've had that core group of players that have come through and been successful in the long run. So hopefully for Port Fairy they can hang on to those girls and got a great coach there with great skills, great knowledge, and they'll be fine.
And I think too, the junior development programs, and we know that all clubs really put a lot of effort into their junior football, their junior netball. Port Fairy have put a real emphasis on their junior development, I reckon, over the last few years especially. And I reckon we'll see the fruits of it over the next couple of years. Yeah,
well, they're very strong in all grades.
Yeah.
The rest of their teams are very strong, and they've been the players. Saw even Carly Thomas playing down in Div 2. Like, she's just back playing with her sister, having fun. So, they're the sort of players, they've hung around the club and, I'm sure Renee's utilising that experience and help with some of those younger girls.
Yeah.
Because there's a great wealth of experience
absolutely.
at that club.
Well, speaking about juniors, Trish, coming up very soon is going to be the Association Championships. And just for the people out there that don't sort of understand about the Association Championships, it's for our underage netballers. As a league, we're representing the Hampton League. And well, what have we got? 17s, 15s, 13s?
Yep. 17s, 15s, 13s. We're not sure about an open. We were going to take an open as a young age open team to give those girls that didn't get their turn last year to play. With the restrictions, we're just not sure whether we can do that, whether the open will run. It's just sort of up in the air. Whereas we think the juniors will go ahead anyway.
And this is going to take place on
June the 27th, a Sunday, in Ballarat.
Yep.
So being regional, we were hoping that will go ahead. And also, it just would mean the metropolitan teams can't travel out. So that maybe to our benefit in some ways.
We'll hopefully be the best league in regional Victoria. And we are one of the strong leagues, there's no doubt. We always do really well in the Association Championships. And joining us on the Zoom tonight is the under-13 mentor and also a Hampton League Netball League executive in Mari Wall. And Mari, thanks for joining us. great to have your company on the Hampton League Netball Show.
Thanks for having me, Trent.
Well, an exciting time, obviously association championships, and I know you've been around the netball circles for a long, long time, Murray. You must get a real buzz, seeing the kids getting the chance to represent the league at a tournament like the association champs.
You've no idea. No, you're spot on, Trent. I'm overjoyed with what's been presented, and you talk about clubs at grassroots and what they're doing. Absolutely amazing. Our first tryouts, we're still going. I haven't actually, and Dot, my coach here, we haven't actually picked the side yet because it's really, really difficult. And I was loving to say to Renee there, she's got two beautiful under-13 netballers from Port Fairy, Poppy Myers and Kira Beersley. They have come to the table with skills that I would have thought, we might have enhanced, but we're over the moon. Absolutely talent plus in this side.
Yes, Murray, I was out at the tryouts on Sunday. They had a training run outdoors and played against a Warrnambool City under-15 team, actually, just to have a run against them. And, oh, gosh, I wasn't envying Dot or Mari's position. They still have got 15 players there, and really we could take two very strong teams as the calibre of the players that are there, haven't we, Mari?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. And it's the names that are there, Trent. Like you look at O'Connor, O'Sullivan, McLaren, Stevens, Sinnott, Bowman, Jackie Bowman's. I can recall saying to Sarah, get down to Warrnambool and have a look how Jackie Bowman plays. And now here, there's a daughter. Like, it's unbelievable. We're absolutely privileged to be in this position, actually, because Kate Dobson and Daniil were going to do it because they have done it previously, and it's worked out the dates they couldn't. So Dot and we've stepped in, and I tell you what, Trent, it might make us look good.
Hey, Murray, I want to ask you, so when you're taking away these teams to association champs, no doubt, we want to be successful, we want to win, but I guess it's a bit more than that just for the young ones, isn't it? It's giving them that exposure at that next level and give them a chance to play against the best of the best.
It is, Trent, and it is especially for me. I love this age, and I've got somewhat of an idea to know what's in front of them. So for them to come as a team and play in the position they actually play best at, it's amazing, because a lot of these players are the stronger players in their Saturday teams, and here's a chance for them to really showcase their own position and the athleticism in some of these girls. And as you said, Trish, you stood there, and I'd say we could have a shooter and a goal attack at average 6 foot. Like, what are the other teams going to think when we rock up? I'm going to put a bow in their hair and get them even higher, Trish.
Yeah, they're certainly you. If you walked past or driven past, you wouldn't have thought they were under 13 girls. They're very tall, and I just think, Mari, been around the league for a long time, and you've been around the league for a long time. And I remember when 13 and unders first came in, and just the actual skill level of the girls these days just blows you away. I remember early on, they were at that stage where they all followed one another around, and now, they know strategy, they know how to play it. They know how to play netball.
Yeah, it's very true, but it's a credit to the clubs.
Absolutely.
And that's why I say Hampton League is in a very healthy position, as I see it.
And so we always must thank the coaches that bring them through. They don't really, as Murray said, they come to these sort of days, and really, we are only sort of helping them to gel as a team. Their skills are already there, which is fabulous, and it's just how they perform on the day, and it's a bit of pressure, all those sort of things when you get away at association champs. So this is the girls' pathway. It's the pathway program for netball. So at under 13s, they can get talent identified. And look, Murray, you would probably know, because through Sarah and I've been involved with my kids as well, those girls bring those friendships all the way through, and you see them keep coming up in the teams all the way through. So it's a pretty exciting time.
Oh, it is an exciting time for them. And do you know what? I deal with this age group on a daily basis, and they've had it tough. But last year they were grade 6s at some of these, and some of them are grade 6s now, but our top age, And you know what? We were blessed to be down here, but still they didn't have any sport. And this is a real athletic group. And life sort of stopped for them. So I'm that excited to get out there with them and let them enjoy what is normal and what is going to be normal from here on in. We've got a little time to go yet, but things are going to get back to normality. And I can't wait. And I can just see them gelling, and they're, giving each other high fives. Danielle came over after we trained, and she said, Mari, and she spoke to the girls, and she said, your maturity is unbelievable. She said, me standing here watching, she said, I am just blown away with this. And, it was lovely to hear that from Danielle, because she has coached this group for probably the last 3 years, has she, Dot? Yeah.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah. And was Dot with her or not? No, just Danielle.
No. Dot's done it sometimes with her. Yeah,
Yes.
she has done it in the past before. And then Kate Dobson did it last year, and Danielle with her, the two of them together. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go through some leadership stuff. I'll have a leader in the attack and defence and in the centre court. And, yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it, Trent. And I hope they enjoy every minute of it. But next Sunday, the sad thing is, which it isn't sad really, because we're going to pick the 10. And you've got to tell 5 that they're not in it. But heavens, they really, really have pushed us to the absolute limit to pick this side. And, they've got next year and the year after. And I'm really looking forward to watching them progress here on in.
I'll tell you what, you do a great job. And as you said, the coaches themselves are the ones that set up the development and so forth. And then you guys get to enjoy the spoils as being the association coaches. So, Mari, all the very best with the under-13s for later on in June. But thanks for joining us tonight on the Hampton League Netball Show. It's always great to get your insights. And how are you enjoying being back on the Hampton League Executive?
Oh, I'm really enjoying it. It's a very interesting time, but I think we've got a great group there. And no, I'm really enjoying it, Trent.
Yeah, it's great to have you back in. And she's done a great job for many years. Been a really synonymous name with local netball for a long, long time, Mari Wall. And, obviously with Sarah and daughter Lisa now coaching the South Warrnambool Roosters, a really strong connection to Hampton Netball. And, what a great person to have leading, the start of our generation of kids,
Absolutely.
In under 13s.
And she brings a lot to the executive. She's got a lot of knowledge and contacts, I guess, too. So yeah, absolutely fantastic having Mari on board.
She's great. And it just gives you another bit of female voice on there as well with Josie
4 of us now.
and Dot. So I love it to make sure those boys
Still
keep nice and honest. Hey, before we go, let's look at this weekend's round 9 fixtures of Open Netball and all netball across the weekend. So Warrnambool will take you on Cobden at Deakin University. What a great test for the Blues, whose last fortnight before the break was pretty solid.
Absolutely, and I think, I watched a bit of the footage from the last time, and as we've said, like Amy Wormwood's got to be one of the ones sitting up in the best and fairest at the moment. Like she's really dominating in that team, but building her juniors around her has been really important for her, and she's tried a few different people in attack with her, and so that's good for the club to have that. Some other people they can switch and swap around, so they're not just so reliant on Amy. But and I think I think most clubs might have been a little bit happy, like just to have that little break.
Well, I know that injuries. Emma Cast and young sister Sarah O'Keefe, Ava Pearce, they all had those niggles. So I think the break's probably come at a really opportune time for them just to recover and get themselves back a little bit sooner rather than later. So who do you like in this one?
Oh, look, I still can't go past Cobden. It'll be interesting to see now that we're up to the end of round 9 whether Nadine and Sophie take the court this week. They must be due.
Getting closer, I would have thought.
I would have thought, with a possibility of having 3 rounds and then a bye, I would not be surprised if they take the court on Saturday. So that's going to take a bit of adjustment for Cobden. You've got used to playing with those 7 all year, and then throw in quality players, but still, it's about gelling. So
the cohesion.
Yeah, but I think Cobden.
Yep. Portland host North Warrnambool over at Hanlon Park. So the Eagles got to venture over to Portland, those beautiful new netball courts.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So what are you thinking there, Trish?
Yes,
this is going to be a test for the Eagles.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like Portland have run all the teams up, and they can score freely. They've got great goalies. So It will be a test for the Eagles, but once again, they're a little bit like Warrnambool. I think the break, giving some of those girls who had a few niggly injuries a bit of a break will help with that. But I'm really looking forward to going to see those new courts over there. So, yep, I'll have to pick North for this one, though.
Southbourne will take on Terang Mortlake. They're doing everything right, the Roosters. Terang Mortlake, under Liz Fowler, really improving each week. They're going to have some good weeks, they're going to have some bad weeks.
Yep.
Just the nature of having a young list. But, they've got to go in confident and knowing that their best can certainly try and match it with the Roosters.
Yeah, that's for sure. And as you know, a bit like the Port Fairy team we were talking about, a lot of young players coming through. And they've got some really talented juniors coming through as well. And some of those are coming through our rep teams, and I've seen them in the tryout. So, but yeah, I can't go past the Roosters.
And we spoke to Renee Taylor regarding Port Fairy taking on Croy. Just a tip in that one?
Look, I can't go past Koroit, but I think this is the match of the round, and it'll be a really close one. I wouldn't surprise if it would flip the other way, but I'm giving it Nell with that height in goals. I don't know Port Fairy have got that height to contend with her.
And the last round, which is our Hampton League Live match of the day, and I think this could be nearly the Hampton League Live netball match of the day as well.
Yeah.
Camperdown taking on Hamilton up at the Lura Oval. I'll tell you what, Camperdown, they're certainly their best is some of the best you'll see in the competition. Hamilton, when they're on, they're hard to stop. So I see this one being a really close encounter.
Yeah, you're probably right because, Camperdown without Ruby Schlitt, Pekin, she's out injured for, I think about 6 weeks.
Was it Achilles, was it? Or
no.
Sort of lower leg, though?
Yeah, it was lower leg, but it wasn't as bad as she thought.
Yeah.
So, but it'll put her out for quite a few weeks. So that's a big out for them. And that was the height that may have counteracted a little bit with Holly Phillips, great up-and-coming goal shooter there. I was looking forward to watching her, so I'll have to wait a couple more weeks to see that. But, I'm going to stick with Camperdown, but... yeah, it'll be a closey too. Yeah,
it should be a great game. It's just great to have Hampton Netball back up and running this weekend. Obviously, a few restrictions will take place, but I'm sure we all can be adaptive. Trish, thanks for coming in tonight. Always a great pleasure. It's just great to be talking netball again.
It's good to be back, that's for sure.
And we hope you all enjoy the show, but also have a great weekend this weekend watching the Hampton Football Netball League, whether it's football or netball. Until then, we'll see you next Wednesday night.